How changing your thinking can change your life. What if changing your way of thinking could change your life? By changing the way you think, you start to see changes in your attitude and behavior, which leads to a more fulfilling life overall. A lot has been said about the power of thoughts and how they can affect one's life. There's a lot of truth to it. If we change the way we think, we can drive ownership over the course of life. It all boils down to how you process your thoughts and your reactions. By doing so, we create a powerful feedback loop that leads to achievement, contentment, and fulfillment. So, how do we go about changing our thinking? Know the power of your thoughts. Your thoughts are incredibly powerful. They have the ability to affect your mood, behavior, and overall outlook on life. Yet they also have the power to overrule it. The reality is that most people are completely unaware of the power of their thoughts. They just go through life, reacting to the events that unfold around them, without giving any attention to the role their thoughts play in shaping their experience. Taking control of your life means getting into an awareness of how your brain processes thoughts and what actions you do every time you experience a train of similar patterns. Pay attention to the things you tell yourself on a daily basis. Are they positive, negative, or neutral? Do you dwell on your problems or focus on solutions? Do you see the world as a friendly place or a hostile one? The quality of your thoughts has a direct impact on the quality of your life. So if you want to live a fulfilling and meaningful life, start by paying attention to the things you think about every day. Quit with the saying, "That's just who I am." One of the most disempowering things you can do is to tell yourself that you're just a certain way and that there's nothing you can do to change it. This kind of thinking comes from a fixed mindset, which is one of the biggest obstacles to success. People with fixed mindsets believe that their abilities and traits are set in stone. They think that they're either born with certain talents or they're not, and that's their endgame. This kind of thinking limits and prevents you from fulfilling your full potential. This way of thinking is restrictive and severely affects our ability to grow and develop as individuals. When we believe that we can't change, we become stuck in our ways and unable to move forward. One valuable way to avoid this is to develop your self-belief. Instead of using, "That's just who I am," as a response to life, try viewing life as a challenge. With a little effort and determination, you will be surprised by what you can achieve and how your thoughts can lead you toward progress and achievement. There's so much more you can do if you don't limit your thoughts. See the world from a greater perspective. Next time you find yourself making excuses, remember that you have the power to change. Focus on the solution, too, not just the problem. We've all been there before. We're dwelling on a problem, and before long, we're in a full-blown panic attack about everything that could go wrong. This is what Caroline Leaf calls the negative ego. It's the part of our brain that's wired to focus on everything that's wrong in our lives. And while it's helpful to be aware of potential problems, if that's all that we focus on, it can lead to anxiety and depression. That's why it's important to focus on solutions just as much as paying attention to the problem. It also helps us end the habit of shaming ourselves. Shame is a natural emotion that we experience when we hold ourselves up to unrealistic expectations. Then when we hold on to it, we continue to beat ourselves up over our mistakes, which becomes a cycle of making more mistakes and leads to digging a deeper emotional hole. When you're trying to solve a problem, it's important to take a step back and look at the big picture. By taking the time to assess the situation, you'll be able to come up with a plan of action that will help you tackle the problems and work toward achieving your goals. It's also important to be flexible in your thinking. Don't get too attached to any one problem. Be open to trying new things and adjusting your solutions as needed. Every problem has multiple solutions. The more flexible you are, the easier it will be to find a solution that works for you. Change your thinking for growth. As Deep H explains, self-defeating and negative thought patterns, particularly when they become habitual, can be hard to break. Patterns that have been in place for years can take time to change, so it's helpful to be understanding and patient with yourself as you work through them. Pay attention to the things you say to yourself on a daily basis. If you find that you're constantly putting yourself down or focusing on the problems, make a conscious effort to look for solutions to those very problems. Reframe your thinking, and you'll be surprised with more realistic and helpful statements. Although it will take time and practice to retrain your brain, eventually, those self-defeating thoughts will become less and less frequent. Just like they say, a little progress, no matter how small, is still progress. And as you start to think with this new mindset, you'll notice a change in your behaviors. You'll be more likely to take risks and try new things. You'll develop more self-belief. With that, you don't have to ignore the negative or pretend that everything is perfect. That's not wise. It's about finding the value in every situation and genuinely believing that things will work out for you.